Very quick, fast, and to the point. Let's talk about it. The February 28th episode of AEW Collision starts off with MJF storming the ring, telling them to cut his music, and then proclaiming nothing gets started until something gets done. He doesn't want to be part of the Texas Death Match on March 15th. I don't blame him, but unfortunately, that's what we're getting, which is fine. He's going to figure it out. It's no DQ. He can do whatever he wants. Everything's going to work out in his favor. Doesn't matter. However, Kevin Knight comes out and is like, you must be scared of my boy. Like, why you so scared? Why you being such a whatever? Like, you know that I'm better than you, so you gotta know that he's better than you. Like, Knight was really putting the pressure on. And then MJF called himself Big Hebrew, which is so funny to me. And he was like, you know what? You think you're such a big dog? You think you can grab a big title and hang on to it because you're so good, because you're the here and now or whatever? Bet Wednesday, you and me for the Triple B. So Kevin Knight is going to get rocked hard, and he's going to put up a fight. We all know he's going to put up a fight, but there's no way that Kevin Knight is going to be the one winning, because they're not going to screw up MJF versus Page for the title in a Texas Death Match. That's just not going to happen. So that'll be an interesting little match on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 37 minutes. We don't know. We're going to have to figure it out when it happens. And oh boy, is it going to happen. Get excited. Following MJF's little bit of a breakdown, we did have a promo that started off with Briscoe, moved on to Ciampa, and ended with Lethal. Briscoe is very much in the camp of Ciampa's awesome. I hope I get to wrestle him again. Ciampa is in the camp of I'll fight anybody. I want gold. And Lethal is lethal. And he was just like, all right, we got a match. It's been a hot minute since we've met in a ring. Let's do this. Let's just burn it down. We followed that immediately with an 8-man tag match, and it was Don Callis family versus Death Riders, Mox on commentary, Shafir on the sidelines, and I had to take several notes because a lot happened in the maybe 15-minute run time that this had. So let's see. So we had Garcia and Rocky going against each other for a little bit. Claudio Castagnoli versus Lance Storm happened, and obviously two big men slapping man meat. That was really fun. At one point we had Pac versus Trent Beretta in just them doing their thing and flying around and kicking each other in the face. Then there was a moment where we had Wheeler Yuta with his hat versus everyone. Everybody was climbing in the ring to try and pull the hat off Yuta's head, and it was very funny. Somehow the hat stayed on the head. Nobody was grabbing hard enough, or the duct tape was real. I don't know how he managed to keep that hat on the entire match. No one got to look at that head of his. It was just kind of silly, kind of ridiculous, but very fun at the same time. So it was a very good match. The Death Riders ended up with the win. There was a moment where Shafir climbed into the ring while Lance Storm was dominating a little bit. Claudio Castagnoli slid in with a chair and just interfered a little bit as far as keeping the ref distracted. And Shafir jumped on Lance's back and got him in a chokehold, and he kind of just stood there almost like he was just going to take it, and it was just going to that was just going to be what was happening, and he was totally fine with it. He did end up slinging her over his shoulder to the mat. She rolled out. The ref turned back around. Everything went back to normal. That's just what happened. There was another moment where Claudio swatted Trent Beretta out of the air, and that was interesting because Trent just was like going full bore with his face, and Claudio turned around and saw him, gave him a European uppercut, and he just crumbled like a paper bag in a rainstorm. It was weird. It was fun. It was fine. It was a good match. Everything lined up really well. I didn't notice any like botches or anything crazy. We all knew Shafir was going to get in and try to do something. Moxley was talking about guys in the shower at one point. I missed whatever he was saying because I was so invested in watching what was going on. So that was that. That was that. So then after the Death Riders got the win, Takeshita came out, and he came out holding a microphone as if he was going to say something, and he walked down the ramp, he got into the ring, he made it look like something was about to happen, and oh boy did it, because he attacked Mox instantly. No idea where the microphone ended up going, and then it took everybody to pull them apart, and then they got at each other 2 more times before the whole thing dissipated, and everybody went their separate ways. It was interesting, but Takeshita is so ready for Revolution. I am so ready for Revolution. This no time limit match is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how... I'm going to time it. Because I don't think it's going to go an hour, but we all know it's going to go longer than like 25 minutes. It's going to be awesome. There has to be a winner. I'm excited. Moving on. Then we got to the match between Ciampa and Lethal. It was really good. I'm going to call it match of the night, just because the two of them are kind of flyers. I mean, Lethal flies a little more than Ciampa does. Ciampa's got a little bit more of the strength, but like pound for pound, they seem to be on the same level for the most part. There was a solid 37 seconds at the beginning of the match where they just stood in the middle of the ring and slapped each other. It was just back and forth, just open palm right hands to the face over and over and over again. And it was pretty silly, pretty funny. The match didn't last too long. I think it was sub 10 minutes, but they got the point across. They both hit some really good moves. They both got some really good stuff going. Lethal is starting to show his age a little bit. He's got a little gray in his goatee, which so do I. So that really doesn't matter a whole lot. But he did his Ric Flair thing for a second, and it was just a lot of fun. I'm going to call that one match of the night. It was the perfect little setup between two guys who haven't wrestled since April of 2015. And looking back at the video package, it's crazy how young they look. And it was only 10 years ago. 10 and a half years ago. Whatever. Almost 11 years at this point. So that was fun. Really enjoyed it. Up next, we had something that I didn't expect and that I am kind of excited about in a weird way, right? So we have a new women's tag team debuting on Wednesday. Formerly known as the Iconics, we have the Inspiration on the way. And they, after they left, they seem to have spent the last couple of years traveling the world, getting more matches under their belt. Obviously, they can't use the Iconics moniker anymore because that was from the old company. So now we're moving into the new company. Still with two eyes at the beginning. So the Inspirations. I'm not against it. I'm a big music guy, so it kind of threw my brain into like, wait, didn't we already have that somewhere? But it doesn't really matter. So I'm curious to see where that goes, and I'm curious to see what happens between like them and the Brawling Birds, them and the Sisters of Sin, them and Megabad, especially now that Megabad has Cross with them. So I'm cool with bringing them in. I'm cool with seeing what they can do. Hopefully they get to do a little bit more than what they did back in the day as the Iconics. So we're good. Moving on. We got a weird little promo package from Clark Connors after that. There's not much to say about it. It was Clark Connors, and it was just him doing a weird Clark Connors thing in the back, beating somebody up and being like, "We're the dogs," right? Like, it's fine. We get it. Like, welcome. Get over it. So that was fun, and it lasted all of a minute or so. And then we moved right into a tag team match with the Brawling Birds, which again, for everybody, is Windsor and Hayter. And they were taking on, hold on, notes, Gypsy May and Tyra Rusumi. Fascinating last name. Squash. Good squash. Decent squash. Not quick squash. I'm pretty sure they went over 5 minutes, so not quite super squash, but squash. And it was fine. It's just trying to build them up to look as unstoppable as possible. It got the point across for everybody paying attention. We're good. Brawling Birds are on their way up, and that's all we can ask for. So, no problem there. Then we had a promo for the Tucson show that's coming up next weekend. It's Tucson. And Private Party was like, oh, the best place to party besides New York City is Tucson. No, the hell it's not. As a Phoenician, no. The only reason I ever go to Tucson is to visit family because they're like medium-sized fish in a tiny fucking pond. So, no, it's not the best place to party. It's very drab, especially once you get outside of like a mile radius of U of A. So, it's not a great place to party unless you're looking for like buku illegal substances, but we're not going to go there. So, welcome to Tucson. Can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to watch the show safely from my house. But it's going to be a fatal 4-way tag match for $200,000. We're bringing back the money matches. I'm totally open to that. I think that when we do those, it really showcases some of the guys that are going after the money. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do like the $250,000 or even the $500,000 because it's a tag team, so they're going to have to split it in half. I guess it makes sense that it's $100,000 per member of the tag team. Fine, no problem. So that'll be something to watch and be interested in a week's time. No problem. Tucson is not a party town. We followed that up with another tag team match, and it was Proto-Okada, so Fletcher and Okada, versus Top Flight, so the Martin brothers, and it was a good match. Proto-Okada is kind of strength, and Top Flight is definitely like speed and agility. So it was a decent balance of everything, especially because Fletcher will do some high flying here and there. I didn't have any qualms with it. Not match of the night, but it did its job. It moved a lot of pieces around the board and moved the plot forward for a couple of things. As soon as the match was over, which the winners were obviously Proto-Okada, Jet Speed came out and they were like, hey, we know you guys are trying to do this whole thing, but me, Cameron Knight, beat you, Fletcher, and Mike Bailey over here has beaten Okada. So, like, we've got wins over you. We think we could beat you as a team, to which Proto-Okada came back with, yeah, but you may have beat us individually. However, we're a team now and we're super awesome. And then Okada put the mic over to Fletcher, who said bitch, and we all moved on. So apparently Mike Bailey is going to go after the TNT title while Knight is in this match with MJF for the men's title. And that's fine. No problem with that. I don't think they're going to stack this team with as much gold as they are. I think they're using them more. Now that I've really seen where things are going, I'm pretty sure Jet Speed, because they're both really healthy, really really athletic guys, I think they're using them in place of some of the guys on the IR list. So I'm not mad at it. It's going to give us some good matches. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see where we go with that. We finally got the first little glimpse of what I have been hoping for, and I've talked about it a couple of times. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy cut a promo apparently after Wednesday's episode of Dynamite, calling out the dogs, which is Kid and Connors. And hopefully we're going to get that soon. Darby was all fired up. Orange was kind of knelt down a little bit, like nursing an injury. Maybe, probably not. I'm assuming it was right after the match was over. They just pulled him outside and they were like, promo, go. And Darby threw a dinky little, like, outside table as he walked off screen when he was done barking at the camera. And And that was that. So hopefully we get Orange and Darby versus the Dogs here pretty soon. Like, it might not happen until Revolution, which would be fine. I think it would be a great match on the pay-per-view, even during the intro show. I think it would be great. I think it would get the crowd going. I think it'll be energetic as hell. But then we'll have Orange Cassidy slowing it down and being the funny guy. So regardless of what happens, that tag match is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see wherever it happens. It's going to be good regardless. We followed that up with Toni Storm versus Zeta Steele, and it was a squash match. Zeta Steele seems like she knows what she's doing as far as like taking all the bumps and stuff, and she got a couple of shots in, but that was about it. That happened, and then we moved on from there immediately because Shafir came out onto the entry ramp. Yuta came running in from somewhere, and Tony turned around and saw Yuta and grabbed the hat and yanked it off his head, and he ran away like a scalded dog, and we finally got to see what he looks like bald. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. So he ran back out of the ring, jumped the barricade, disappeared through the crowd. Tony put the hat on and did some poses in the ring while Shafir just glared at her. The whole thing lasted about 3 minutes, probably. I mean, it was a very quick series of events. So, no problem. We finally got to see Yuta bald. It's very funny. We hit a commercial break after that, and then came back, and we got Hook walking through backstage, still saying, hey, the ops are recruiting. He found some rando in the back, and he was like, you want to be part of the ops? And the guy was like, yeah, like, why? Yeah, of course. And then Hook was like, yeah, of course you would, idiot, and then walked off. I don't understand all this talking we're having Hook doing. He's a great performer. He's fine on the mic. It's a little silly at the moment. And then Bowens showed up, and Bowens was like, and Hook was like, well, the ops are a bunch of killers. Like, I'm a killer. He's a killer. Joe's a killer. We're all killers. Bowens? Killer? I don't know. Let me think about it. And then he walked off, and that was... it's weird. It's weird. I'm going to follow it, but it's weird. Penultimate match of the night was Sisters of Sin versus Staten and Thunder Rosa. And it was a very solid match. Everybody looked really strong. Lots of tag team shenanigans in play. Everybody knew exactly what they needed to do. And unfortunately, the Sisters of Sin lost. And this 2026, it's supposed to be Year of the Heel. Why are you using your top female heel tag team in such a way? If you wanted to do this, you could have put them up against Megabad and had them win. It stop hurting the Sisters of Sin. The Triangle of Madness needs more wins. They currently hold the women's champion in Tekla, who came out after the match and talked a little bit of trash and basically said, Thunder Rosa, you're not going to get this title. You suck. I'm going to kill you. And then that was the whole thing. Good match overall, though. Like, honestly, good match overall. No issue there. Our final match of the night was Andrade versus Tomohiro Ishii. And oh boy, it was more than I expected it to be. And I took no notes because I couldn't turn away from the TV because it was just one thing after another. The only thing that stopped this match in particular from being match of the night was this weird ongoing thing that Andrade has with female audience members. I lost the understanding of it 2 weeks ago. Haven't been able to find it since. And it just gets... This time, some girl in the audience took a selfie with him, gave him a kiss on the cheek, and also gave him, like, a protein bar, which he opened and ate half of right there at ringside, while Ishii was, like, dying over yonder. Which, no. Like, first of all, it's Ishii. He is a no-sell king. Getting bounced off the announce table twice is not enough to take him out for 30 seconds, let alone the 2 minutes that this whole thing took. So somebody, please, in the comments, explain to me what this whole thing with the female audience members is, because I don't get it. And I don't understand like what part of any of these plots that it's helping along. It's just kind of dumb to me personally. So somebody explain it to me. I'll be very thankful. I'll send you a sticker. Like, you know, just it's goofy. Andrade did end up with the win. It was a pretty long, it was like a 15-minute match or so, and 20 minutes right around. It did its job as far as showing how powerful Andrade is, even though we all know how powerful he is. Tomohiro had some injuries. He had the tape all over one shoulder and stuff, and so, you know, there was a little bit of like picking apart of the injury. But it showed that Andrade is worthy of staying in the main event spot, which he is. It's totally fine. Like, he can have really good matches. And then after Andrade won, he was doing his little victory thing in the ring with Don Callis, and then Bandito came out, and they had like a little pointing finger standoff thing, and they both pointed up at the sign for Revolution. And that was that. We actually ended the show like basically on time. I think we were like a minute and a half over. So ended the show on time. No issue. Everything worked out well. All the plots are moving forward. I'm confused about female audience members giving this man selfies and kisses on the cheek and now protein bars. It just, I don't, stop it. It's silly. And it's not like Goofy Wrestling for Life silly. It's just unnecessary silliness. So that was the entire show. I'm looking forward to seeing the Iconics, not the Iconics. What are their names now? The Inspiration, 2 eyes in the beginning. And Wednesday we've got the match with Tekla and Rosa, and that's going to be awesome, and I can't wait. And next Saturday, everybody's going to see just how little of a party town Tucson is. So let's just get it done and call it a day. But have a great week. Take next week out behind the shed and kill it. Like, we got this. All right. So be kind to yourselves. Move forward with what you want to do. Spend a couple hours this week doing one of your favorite hobbies. Just a few hours. Like, do it Wednesday night. Why not? Middle of the week, a little pick me up, get you to the weekend. No problem. Have a great week. Have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. And I will see you Wednesday night. Peace.